Conservative media viewers, what's going on? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion, the super genius, and the political expert. And I want to talk about this whole thing with Reince Priebus being out as Trump's chief of staff, Donald Trump, Scaramucci, everything like that. Now, there's a lot been said there. I don't want to rehash a lot of stuff that you may have seen on TV. Of course, I have my own opinions first. And I have to say, first of all my personal opinion only, not as a facts, not casting any aspersions, all for entertainment purpose only. Please check the disclaimers. Now, for me, and nothing against anybody and no offense and stuff like that, but I never really was down with the selection of Priebus and Spicer there from the RNC. I mean, I just didn't get it for a lot of reasons. But I think in the last 24 hours, I think now I do. And follow what I'm going to say here. And I haven't, seen anyone talk about this or whatnot. There's plenty I don't see out there, so there may have been someone, but whatever. It doesn't matter. This is my take. Okay, I didn't like the whole Spicer and Priebus thing because I thought that they were insiders. I mean, almost by definition, being there, at a high level, or in Reince's case, running the RNC. And I felt like, the whole Paul Ryan thing, there just was too much coziness with the GOP and or, in my opinion, some people who may have been associated with some never Trumpers. Now, and the other thing is that I just didn't see why would you take someone that was this big time insider for a campaign that was heralding this populism and total outside, force. And then they brought all these little RNC folks over there with them. Now, to me, it's just like I hadn't seen the success, of that model. We haven't seen that success of that model. The energy of this party, in my opinion, has been things like the Tea Party movement, the Sarah Palin stuff, now the Trump stuff. And there was I can't remember, and I apologize, there was a good article written about how, I can't remember who it was, but it was something about how this movement of 30 years, going back to Buchanan, of the populism finally, made it through with Donald Trump being the right messenger at the right time, whatever. Anyway, I think there's a lot of truth to that in terms of, look at what happened over the Democrat side. I don't want to get too distracted here rehashing old stuff because I got something important to say, so stay with me. Bernie Sanders and Clinton and stuff, and at some point, the insiders doing what the insiders do and their stuff. At some point, if there's that real movement, there's that real energy, if that's that real feel, with the population, voting population, that's going to be manifested, in election results, in my opinion. So yeah, and I had talked about this in other videos past, stuff like that, about the election. So anyway, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Why would you pick someone like Reince to be your chief of staff? And like I said, last night I was thinking about this. I wanted to do a video about it real quick, but I'm glad that I didn't because it finally clicked to me as a possible. Let me just throw this out there to you. And everything, a lot of stuff that's been said, I agree with in terms of, whatever you think about Reince, whatever you think about Trump, where was the success? Where was the health care bill? Where were what about all these leaks? What about the special counsel? What about McCain's, all these different things? I mean, if Reince was sold as the bridge between the establishment, someone that could work Capitol Hill, someone that could do this and that, whatever, we didn't see a heck of a lot of that, So in terms of managing the press, managing the message, Sean Spicer, I mean, come on, people remember his press briefings and stuff. And again, I'm not slamming either one of these dudes in terms of I think that, Reince had a lot of success at the RNC in certain ways, but this but this job with this administration didn't make any sense to me, and I don't see where you're Donald Trump when you've been put in there. You know, it's the old saying, you dance with the person you brought or whatever. I'm sort of muddling that a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. Why would you then, give the keys to the kingdom in certain ways to these establishment figures who may not have been fully with you at first? And I think I read in an article about how Reince came to Trump at some point and asked him to drop out or something like that. And Trump made fun of him. But then, like I said, and I've saved it to the end here, I thought about something that made me just click last night. And that's why I'm the political expert. Well, one of the reasons. And I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to float this as a theory, because I've seen different theories. And I'm going to say two words to you. And those that know might instantly get this. And those two words come down to one name, and that's Mitt Romney. Bam. What are you talking about, JV? What does Mitt Romney have to do with this? Well, at one point, Governor Romney was seen as a potential rival to Donald Trump. At one point, wasn't Mitt Romney seen as one of the leaders, maybe, in my opinion? Did some people maybe see Governor Romney as associated with the Never Trumpers? And then after Donald Trump was elected, what happened to Mitt Romney? The multiple interviews, the speculation, Secretary of State. What did that whole experience with Governor Romney, in my opinion, do to Governor Romney's reputation? What did that whole experience, in my opinion, and maybe in your opinion, do to the movement of the Never Trumpers? Do you think that Mitt Romney has a viable political future at the presidential level anymore? Have we heard much from Governor Romney since that whole episode? What, in your opinion, did that say about Governor Romney's previous criticism of Donald Trump? Think about that for a second. So if you're Donald Trump, and you have these folks that were at the RNC. Now, I have seen some of this out there, and I was thinking to myself immediately, it's like, okay, well, here's a chance, and I'm not saying that this was all planned out and Donald Trump has it all schemed, whatever like that. Okay, Trump's got some things he can fix. He's done that before. He's done turnarounds. He's done different things like that. But I'm not saying it's all been perfectly planned out. JDV, you're saying Trump's planned all this. No. But what I think I'm saying is maybe hasn't been planned, but maybe it's been strategized. You feel me? Has a difference. Now, think about this. You're Trump, and look at all the stuff that's come out recently about stuff that Trump said about Reince in the past, Scaramucci, that whole thing, right? So think about this. Do you think that Scaramucci would say what he said to Ryan Elizabeth in New York if Scaramucci didn't feel like he had the ability to say it? So think about that. So if you look at that New Yorker article and you look at some of these other things that came out there, and then you rewind it and you look at what happened in the primaries and how Trump beat all these people and Priebus and all this type of stuff. If you were Trump and you had these folks at the RNC, if you could bring them in, now you have a chance to change the RNC because you brought them in. And then if they didn't work out, they didn't work out. I mean, I think someone said, there's some postings out there, and I haven't researched it, but the Priebus lasted a very short period of time in comparison to other chiefs of staff. So think about this. If you would say, could you say that with the interviewing for Secretary of State that Governor Romney may have revealed some things about himself? Maybe could you say that he significantly undercut his previous criticisms of Donald Trump. Much like Senator Ted Cruz, in my opinion, revealed a lot about himself and his previous criticism of Donald Trump with what happened at the Republican National Convention. And how many voters out there are going to forget that so easily. So you have these critics of Trump, Cruz. In other words, what I'm saying is we have had a model for this before. And what did Trump do to Cruz? People say that he set him up. Walked out there. He let him speak. He let Cruz be Cruz. You feel me? And now here's a situation where Trump also, in my opinion, let Romney be Romney and let people see that. And now we have this situation, in my opinion, where maybe President Donald Trump, the billionaire, the master marketer, the master strategist, perhaps let Priebus and Spicer be Priebus and Spicer. So now you think about this. Trump's draining the swamp was never going to be easy. Coming in after Obama and this whole thing, and we see what's happened with all this stuff with Russia and all this stuff, and we see what happened with the healthcare vote with the Democrats. It was never going to be easy. But one of the things that Trump had to contend with was people saying he's had no experience before. He's never been a politician at this level. Or at really any level. He's never blah, 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 blah. So maybe Trump let the experts at the RNC show what they could, and some might say couldn't, do. And the bottom line, where if you try like Trump, don't like Trump, like Priebus, don't, what were the results? If Priebus was there to be the bridge to the establishment, if Priebus was there with the experience of that, what were the results? And if you put it a little bit further, people say, well, Priebus never had the full authority, and you had Jared doing what he wants, and now Scaramucci is going to put in there direct access to the president, and then you had Bannon, and this, the blah, 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 and then Ivanka. Okay, was that by design? These are interesting questions, but I think I like to reverse engineer things sometimes. You know, I think that someone like President Trump is extremely smart, has been very successful. If you look at where we're at, you have to ask yourself, how did we get here? If you look at the consequences of what has happened and the result of what has happened, and you look back, it looks maybe a little different. But I thought of those words and that name, Mitt Romney, and I think of this. And in my opinion, looks a little similar. Looks a little similar. I want to know what you think about that. You tell me what you think. Give me the comments below. Please subscribe. Please rate this video up. Also, please post it on your social networking sites. Thanks so much for watching. I'm John D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion and the super genius. You're watching Conservative Media and a political expert. I will see you next time.